Hey there! Great to see you! Today, we're diving into some important updates about Social Security and some changes that have been causing a bit of confusion, especially around March 31st and April 14th. If you've heard bits and pieces but aren't quite sure what's true, you're definitely not alone. There's been a lot of chatter online, and honestly, some of it is just plain wrong. So here's the scoop. These changes were originally set to start on March 31st, but now there's a 2-week delay. Even more importantly, the rules aren't the same for everyone. Some groups don't have to change a thing, which is a big deal for folks who might struggle to go online or visit a Social Security office in person. Today, we'll break down what's changing, who it affects, and what steps you might need to take. Trust me, you'll want to know this. And hey, if you find this info helpful, take a sec to subscribe. It really helps the channel and keeps you in the loop for future updates. So, let's kick things off. The Social Security Administration, SSA, initially announced that starting March 31st, 2025, almost everyone applying for benefits would need to verify their identity online or in person. Sounds reasonable, right? After all, preventing fraud is super important. But the catch was, they were going to stop phone verifications, which is a big deal for a lot of people, especially older adults or those with disabilities. For many, the phone is the only way to get this done. This plan got a lot of pushback from advocacy groups, politicians, and everyday folks just trying to help their loved ones. And guess what? It worked. The SSA decided to push the start date back to April 14th, giving everyone a little more breathing room. But here's the big news. They've changed the rules for certain groups. If you're applying for Medicare, Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI, or Supplemental Security Income, SSI, you can still use the phone to verify your identity and complete your application. That's huge. The SSA realized that cutting off phone access could really hurt those who need help the most. Now, not everyone gets that same flexibility. If you're applying for retirement benefits, survivor benefits, or auxiliary benefits, like for spouses or kids, you'll still need to verify your identity online or in person starting April 14th. No more phone verification for those claims. There are a few exceptions, like if someone has a terminal illness or is coming out of incarceration, but those are pretty rare. Also, this new rule affects anyone trying to update their direct deposit info. If you've switched banks or your old account is closed, after April 14th, you can't update that info by phone anymore. You'll have to do it through id.me, Login.gov, or by visiting a local SSA office. So even if you're not applying for new benefits, something as simple as changing where your money goes now requires a different step. You might be wondering why the SSA is doing this. According to Acting Commissioner Leland Dudek, it's all about fraud prevention. They want to modernize the system and reduce scams, which sounds smart in theory. But here's the reality check. The SSA is dealing with some big internal issues, like staff shortages and tech problems. Some employees haven't even been fully briefed on how to handle these changes. Plus, the Department of Government Efficiency, yes, that's a real thing, and yes, it's led by Elon Musk, has been pushing agencies to downsize, which sounds good on paper, but has left the SSA with fewer resources. That's part of why this rollout is turning into a bit of a mess. When changes happen quickly and without clear communication, scammers take advantage. Right now, there are fake emails going around that look like they're from Social Security, but aren't. These messages ask you to click on links or give personal info, and that's how they get you. The big red flag? They don't come from an ss.gov email address. If something seems off, it probably is. If you're ever in doubt, don't click anything. Go directly to the official SSA site or call them. Another thing to keep in mind is that the SSA is expecting a ton of people to seek help in April. Field offices are likely to be busy, phone wait times might be longer, and the folks working those helplines will be overwhelmed. So, it's not just about what you need to do, but also when and how you do it. If you know you'll need to verify your identity or update your bank info, it's worth planning ahead before those deadlines hit. One of the best things you can do to stay ahead of all this is to create a My Social Security account online at SSA.gov. I know dealing with government websites can be a hassle, but this one is actually pretty user-friendly. Once you set it up, you can view your benefit statements, make changes, and see any updates that affect you. It gives you more control and helps you avoid surprises. Just to be clear, if you're not applying for new benefits or making major changes to your account, you don't need to do anything right now. This isn't one of those situations where everyone has to rush out and do something by a certain date. But if you do need to make a change, especially to your direct deposit, or if you're applying for retirement or survivor benefits, you'll need to use the new system after April 14th. And one last thing, if you're helping someone else, like a parent, spouse, or friend, make sure they know about these changes too. A lot of people still haven't heard about this or have heard rumors that aren't true. Just letting them know that phone options still exist for Medicare or disability claims could really help ease their stress. Remember, Social Security is supposed to be a support system, and any change that makes it harder to use hits, especially hard for those already facing challenges. Yes, keeping things secure is important, but it has to be done in a way that keeps the system accessible. Otherwise, we're just creating new problems. So to recap, March 31st was the original date for the new identity rules, but it's been pushed back to April 14th. If you're applying for Medicare, SSI, or disability, you can still use the phone. But if you're applying for retirement or survivor benefits, or need to change your bank info, you'll need to verify your identity online or in person. And watch out for scams. Double-check who's sending you messages, and don't give out personal info unless you're 100% sure it's from the SSA. Let me know in the comments if this cleared things up for you, or if you have questions about your specific situation. I'll do my best to help, and I know others in the community often have great advice too. This channel is all about making sure you have the info you need without the stress. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you'll always be in the loop when something changes. We'll keep it honest, calm, and helpful, just like today. Take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you soon.